Alright, what's going on, guys? It is your boy Christian here, and I'm finally back with another YouTube video. In today's video, I'm going to be reacting to the reveal of Lonzo Ball and the New Orleans Pelicans. And for most of you guys that don't know, I'm probably one of the biggest Lonzo Ball fans. I own up to his jerseys, his shoes, his Big Baller Brand sweater. I have a Big Baller Brand shirt. So as you can see, I'm a huge Lonzo Ball fan. And a lot of people talk smack about him just because his dad hyped him up and he didn't become the person that his dad imagined him to be. Me personally, I feel like he's probably one of the better point guards in the league. He might not score a lot, but his court vision, and the way he manages plays and the way he brings like defenders to close out on him, like when he's driving, so he leaves other people open. And that's just my definition of a good point guard. He could pass, he could play very good defense, and his shot's always been there, but for some reason since he got into the NBA, it hasn't really been like fully there. And now that he's made adjustments to his jump shot, like you could see like the difference that he's had with his jump shot. So hopefully he stays consistent with his jump shot, and hopefully throughout the years to come, he just becomes a better shooter, and that's just going to be in addition to his playmaking, his defense. So yeah, I feel like Lonzo's gonna be one of the best point guards of all time.
Ball has always had the potential to be one of the best two-way point guards in the league. I mean, he has the size, he has the wingspan, he has the passing vision. And
I was at that game actually. I was at that game.
Today. However, what many people chose to look at instead was the
It's in one of my vlogs if you guys want to go watch that.
Hype surrounding him and how he failed to live up to that hype, and how he was basically a non-existent jump shooter when he was on the floor. But what many people also failed to look at was after
look at that. Like you don't see that coming straight into the basket. Like you don't see that.
A bunch of injuries, and he also had to deal with the adjustment of playing with LeBron James.
Oh, this is a contact dunk right here.
And in January of last year, it seemed that he was getting into a groove with LeBron, and they were playing extremely well together. Lonzo suffered a season-ending injury to his left ankle, where it was a sprain and a bone bruise at the same time, which took him 7 months.
Cash, bro. He's so clutch.
During this offseason, Lonzo also got traded to the New Orleans Pelicans, which was the best thing to happen to his career. Many people thought that he was going to be a lot.
He's working on that too, and his floaters, and his free throws.
But yet again, Lonzo had to go through another trial and another tribulation, this time in the form of Alvin Gentry's inability to coach and have consistent rotation.
Look how, is it this play? Oh no, it's not this play.
In October,
but damn, man.
Averaged 23.5 in the month.
That game, they weren't calling any fouls, bro.
29.3 in December. But even after all of this, after all the media
slander, what point guard do you see doing that? Like no point guard has confidence to throw the ball like that.
Lonzo has still found a way to rise above this and become one of the most exciting
point
guards in the league. The fact of the matter is that when Lonzo is on the floor, the ball moves a lot more fluidly.
That's what I'm saying.
Team looks a lot better.
That's what I'm saying, bro. The team looks a lot better when he's on the court. He makes everyone better.
Lonzo's the one throwing the ball up to you. I mean, the proof is in the stats. Look at a player like Kyle Kuzma, who benefited greatly from Lonzo's playstyle.
I've been saying this. For all my IRL friends, I've been saying this.
16.1 points in his rookie season with Lonzo running the show, and he also averaged 18.7 points last season with Lonzo and LeBron running the show. But look at Kuzma now. I mean, without Lonzo, he's only averaging 12 points per game and shooting a very inefficient 42.5% from the field.
Bro, that's what I've been saying. I've been telling all my friends, Lonzo made Kuzma the shooter that he is now, and getting him open every single time. So I truly believe that Kuzma isn't the same without Lonzo. I'm just saying that right now.
And then you compare it to Lonzo, who has recently returned to the starting lineup, and all of a sudden, the Pelicans have a 5-1 record when Lonzo's been starting, and in the past 3 games especially, Lonzo has been spectacular and extremely aggressive, leading to averages of 24.7.
This is the game where he hit
rebounds, 8.3
4 threes in the first quarter. Yeah, it is.
And 41.9% from the three-point line.
And the only reason I know like how these games are is because I watched every single game. Like, every single game that Lonzo has played this year, I have watched. Like, I'm being serious. I watched every single game, so I know every play that he does because I watch him so, like, well. And on my Instagram, I'll be posting a lot of his, like, highlights, so, like, I remember all of them, so...
And during this stretch where the Pelicans have gone 5-1, it's not like they've played some scrub teams either. I mean, they've played the Denver Nuggets, one of the best defensive teams in the league, and one of the best teams in the Western Conference. They played against the Indiana Pacers, who are currently a playoff team in the Eastern Conference, and they played against the Houston Rockets, albeit without James Harden and Russell Westbrook. And more recently, they played against the Los Angeles Lakers, who are arguably the best team in the league, and they played against the Sacramento Kings, who feature an uber-athletic and defensive-minded guard in De'Aaron Fox. And many people value plus-minus, right? I mean, it measures how effective a team is when there's players on the court, and if they outscore or don't outscore the other team while there's certain players on the court, right? But let's look at Lonzo's numbers compared to the other two stars on the team, Brandon Ingram and Drew Holiday.
Bro, Brandon Ingram has improved so much.
Has had a plus-minus of 24 points. Solid, right? And you look at Drew Holiday, who over the last 6 games has had a plus-minus of 40, which is extremely good, but who stands above them all? It seems to be Lonzo Ball, who over the past 6 games has had a plus-minus of 55. And look, I'm not saying that plus-minus is the definitive answer to see how—
I don't even know what plus-minus means, but that was a clutch steal right there.
A lot of other factors go into play, most definitely. But if you factor in the plus 55 and you factor in the 5-1 record since Lonzo has been a starter, and
yeah, look how unselfish he is.
Should Lonzo have been starting?
Yeah, an open 3 and pass it out.
I think you know my answer. And with all that out of the way, I think there's only one more thing that we have to talk about.
Like, that's what I mean right there. That exact play is what I mean right there. Like, see how he drove in and then everyone drew attention to Lonzo? Left 3 people open. Josh Hart was open, Drew Holiday was open, Brandon Ingram was open. I'm telling you, like, he's so effective when it comes to being a point guard.
Few games, more specifically the past 3 games. The first thing I noticed when watching Lonzo's past 3 games is that he's been extremely aggressive. What I mean by this is that he's been attacking the basket a lot more than usual. Throughout his
hit the first 2 threes of the,
I have not seen Lonzo attack this aggressively since his high school days, or even his UCLA days. He's been going to the basket, making contact layups. He's even had a couple of contact
dunk right here
and fast break dunks. He's also—
and the sick part about that was someone, as soon as he came, like, checked into the game, because he recently checked into the game, like right there. Someone called him a bust, and that's literally what he did right after he called him a bust.
Extremely aggressive in the half court, either coming off a pick and roll and going to the basket hard for a hard layup, or he goes hard.
He's practicing on floaters, bro. Once he gets that done, it's over.
An open shooter. Why is this happening, you may ask? Well, I think it's because Lonzo has finally gotten his legs under him after a tough summer of rehab. After a serious ankle injury like Lonzo sustained, it's normal for players to have some sort of fear driving to the basket because they could awkwardly land on someone's foot, they could be out of control and fall into the stands and perhaps injure their ankle or leg, and maybe they're just afraid to go up hard because they don't think that their leg can handle the pressure yet. I think that's what was happening with Lonzo in the beginning of the season and why he was so passive, but that all seems to be in the past. The second reason that I think Lonzo has been playing so well lately is that he isn't afraid to shoot. There used to be times where Lonzo would be wide open and he would have this weird hesitation for about 1 or 2 seconds and then overthink and release the ball. And these would lead to extremely erratic and inconsistent results. There were times
Got the way, Davis. You ain't stopping that, boy.
And it would swish, and other times he would completely miss the rim. However, this offseason, Lonzo worked extremely hard to fix his jump shot, no longer shooting from the left side, but instead shooting from the middle, and this has yielded great results. He averages 2.33 points.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. Every single time Lonzo goes up for an open layup or open dunk, he takes at least 3-4 steps,
bro. Not the best in the league, it's definitely serviceable. And because he's no longer a liability on offense, this opens up the floor for his drivers like Brandon Ingram and Drew Holiday and makes his life a lot easier, giving him a lot more open jumpers when they suck the defense in. And finally, the biggest reason why I think Lonzo has improved so much, especially in the past 3 games, is that he finally has his confidence back. I mean,
that step back is so deadly.
Does nothing for any players. I mean, all it does is just take their confidence away, and it gives them the feeling that they can't really play.
I'm honestly taking that move in IRL, and I've been doing that myself, and honestly, it gets you open so good.
He suffered a right adductor strain, and into early December. I mean, he definitely wasn't himself when he was benched, but I'm glad to see that he broke out of that, and he broke out of Gentry's ridiculous rotations, and he's able to play the game that he wants to play now. It's glad to see that Lonzo is finally showing the potential that he showed in college, and if he continues,
there's more to come, bro.
He should remain a starter through the end of the season, and the Pelicans will have
that court
an extremely
vision.
Bright future ahead of them.
I'm telling you, man.
With all that being said, let me know in the comments below if you think Lonzo is the real deal or not. You know what my answer is. I definitely think he is, but maybe you disagree, so sound off in the comments below. And with all that being said, don't forget to like the video, subscribe, and turn on post notifications so you know.
Honestly, this is a very good video. It had like a bunch of like highlights of his of this entire like New Orleans career that he's had. And honestly, shout out to Simbaya NBA. This is honestly a very well video, very constructed, good video. So yeah, with that being said, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please give him a a look on his channel. His link is gonna be in the description. So please go show him some love. So yeah, without further ado, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. And yeah, Christian out. Peace.